Studies show that small businesses are more impacted financially during an election year, and it's because political uncertainty can sway consumers' confidence and decision-making. We're joined by Chantell Preston this morning. She spent more than 25 years working in healthcare operations and development, and she coaches small business owners. So she has some tips for survival for our small business owners. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, in this conversation, when you sat down, I was like, wait, let's talk about this. What does elections have to do with small businesses?
Sure, there's a lot of things. In an election year, there's just different components we're looking at as small business owners, such as the instability of the economy, uncertainty in trade, in regards to supply chain. You look at governmental contracts. Are they going to change? Governmental structures, regulatory structures, such as taxes. So there's different things that you look at because you don't know what's going to happen in the election year, and therefore you want to be prepared.
That is very interesting and something you probably don't think about if you're not a small business owner. What are some of the business sectors that are more impacted than others?
So I think everybody's impacted one way or another, but look at manufacturing, for instance. You look at supply chain. Could there be a disruption in your supply chain? And if so, what are my alternatives? Healthcare, my own background. Pharmaceuticals, clinical trials. Retail, we talked about instability of the economy. Will consumers be buying less? So how does that impact your organization? And if it does, what do you need to do to pivot to be able to protect it?
Definitely, and that's how we can help people without just giving them the doom. You are here to say, now that we know this is coming, here's how you can prepare. So what are you telling business owners to do?
So I've created this method called SAFE, and so it's very simple. Scenario planning. What are the changes that could be made that could impact us? Let's think through those, because what you don't want to do is be reactive versus proactive. So let's think through those scenarios and how is it going to impact us and what can we do to change? Agility and flexibility. If those changes happen, can we move and pivot quickly so it doesn't negatively impact us? Feedback and engagement of your stakeholders. Again, there are risks, but there's also opportunities. Talk to your stakeholders. Make sure they understand that you're looking at those things and evaluating them. And then finally, effective communication and transparency. Nobody likes uncertainty. It makes everyone nervous. So with your employees, with your stakeholders, be transparent. Communicate with them. Let them know you are evaluating what could happen so they have a comfort level and it doesn't impact your business.
That absolutely all makes sense. Okay, so do you suggest for founders and CEOs who are thinking about scaling up, growing their businesses, should they still go forward with those plans?
I think every founder is going to look at things, whether it's an election year or not. What's the right time? But I do think you need to go in eyes wide open and do some of that planning and say, if this happens, how will it impact our growth? And again, if the risks are too high, maybe you hold back. But if not, again, you're going to continue to move forward as a business.
And some of my favorite stories are new entrepreneurs and people who are just starting their businesses. For those who've been dreaming of doing this, I know it's never a perfect time. What do you tell those who want to start a business right now?
It's never a good time, just like having children. However, I would say in today's society, make sure you have enough runway, enough capital. 18 months is what I would tell people. Make sure you have that in the bank. So if something does come up, again, it doesn't take your company down. But also planning. Again, look at what are the risks involved? What happens? Look at both of the parties and say, okay, what are their research or regulatory thoughts in regards to what could change? So again, it's really important to, if you're going to start a business right now, make sure you're aware that there could be some challenges that aren't there in a normal year.
And it sounds like as long as you plan and prepare for that, then you'll be much better off. Chantell, great advice. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it.